tuning into Family Lifestyles. My name is Nan Montgomery, and I am the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences here in Allen County. And I'm excited. I have a special guest with me. I have Katelyn Squires, and she is the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences from Greene County. And this is the time of year, we're in summertime, and our farmers markets have a lot of produce in season. And also, if you don't shop at farmers markets, our grocery stores are going to be having sales on their berries, because our berries are what is in season. And so when product and foods are in season, you get a better price on them. And looks like we're going to make a delicious recipe today. So Katelyn, what are we making? And tell me about some of the ingredients that we're having today.
Yes, absolutely. We are making berry salsa. So we have a variety of different fruits. We have blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries. We have some strawberry preserves and some apples. Ooh. And we're going to combine those all together and make a fun dip treat.
Oh, nice. I'm all about a fun dip treat. And it's not using like a ton of ingredients either, which I also like, because I'm just kind of lazy, and so when it seems like it's a quick recipe, it's going to go on my list more than likely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get started. What do we do first?
Okay, so the first thing is we're going to cut up all of our fruit and combine it into a bowl.
Okay.
So let's just start with our apples. So we're going to finely dice 4 apples.
Okay. Oh man, I love some apples. My favorite. Now, Katelyn, do you like sweet or tart apples?
I'm a sweet. I like Pink Lady. That's my favorite.
Oh my goodness, me too. I like Pink Lady and Gala apples. And I'm also I don't guess there's really any rules when it comes to like making a homemade apple pie, but technically recipes call for tart. Well, I break that rule because I want sweet apples. I want sweet apples. So
yes.
I break that rule and don't use tart apples when I'm baking my apple pies. But yes, so how many apples did you say that we needed for this? 4?
We have 4 apples,
okay.
Yes.
And you said, are we chopping or dicing? I can't remember.
We are dicing.
We are dicing. Okay, so if nobody knows what dicing, or you're not familiar with cooking, Katelyn's going to show us that dicing means smaller pieces. What she has to the side, of course, would be slices. And Katelyn did. Apples right now are not technically in season. So in Kentucky, when it comes to our apple produce, that's going to be more of fall. But I do know that our blackberries and blueberries or raspberries are starting to come in season. Unfortunately, strawberries are starting, in Allen County, we have a few people that have a little bit left, but for the most part, you're going to be really lucky if you get strawberries, because strawberries in Kentucky are in season in May. So, but of course, you can still get those at your
yes, absolutely,
at your local grocery store. So Katelyn is chopping those up. What else do we? Oh, let me ask this: when it comes to our produce, is there? Do we need a certain kind of like wash, or what do we do to like clean our produce? Because I know that sometimes I get questions that, some people feel like they need to buy like a certain type of wash at the grocery store. They're not clean if you just wash them with water. So tell me a little bit about how we clean our produce.
Yeah, so it's recommended that you wash them with cold water.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of people use a baking soda rinse, and that's kind of what I do at home
all
too.
Right.
Just let them soak in there for a little bit, and then you can wash that all together, and then they're good to go.
That's really nice, yes, especially when it comes to your berries, which we're using today. There's like a lot of dirt and stuff that can get in those cracks and crevices, so it's really important that you wash them. But also, I like to wash them, more than once, just because I feel like, I don't know, they're just really dirty. And I do like the baking soda in there with it. I feel like, I don't know, that just makes me feel like they get extra clean. But there's also washes that they sell at your grocery store by the produce section. You don't actually need to buy that. Honestly, it's kind of a waste of money if you get it, because it's really just a combination of products that, your baking soda and your water that you already have at home, and they kind of put a fancy label on it.
Yes.
So water is perfectly fine. If you want to add a little baking soda to it, that's okay too, but you don't need anything fancy to be able to get, your produce
Nothing fancy at all.
nice and clean. What about this? So I see that we have some preserves. So can you tell me what exactly is a preserve? Because I know when we do canning, sometimes we get questions. There's jams and jellies and preserves. So what is our preserve?
It's a really good question. So I think maybe you might be able to answer a little bit better than I can.
That's great. So our preserves, when it comes to our jams and our jelly, so our preserves actually have big chunks of fruit. So that makes them different than a jam or jelly. So your jelly is actually when you can, it is the liquid part of your fruit. So you can tell it like spreads really easy. And then so that was jelly. And then your jams, they have a little bit of chunks of fruit, but they shouldn't be like your preserves. Your preserves would be like we see right here that we have chopped pieces of apples. Say for like our strawberries, so we're using strawberry preserves today. In our recipe, you would actually be able to see more chunks of strawberries. Or if you got peaches, you're gonna have big chunks of peaches. So that's the difference between, our jams, our jellies, and our preserves. So this is gonna give you maybe not more flavor, but it's gonna be a different consistency than if you used jelly in this recipe, which some people have on hand. Jelly might be more of what you might have at home on stock for this recipe. So feel free, if you have jelly, you're more than welcome to substitute that out than having to use preserves. And I also I like this because this looks like your preserves came from, a farmer's market or some type of roadside stand in your county, which is great because you're supporting local.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a great thing to mention during this time because this is a lot of the time when people start canning all of their garden goods.
Right.
And it's good to know the difference.
Definitely. So Katelyn almost has our apples. Let's see, do I put these apples in a bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
You can put it in a large bowl.
Okay, so I'm going to start and I'm going to combine our apples into this bowl. Oh, man. I really just want to eat these. I don't even want you to make the recipe because I want you to be able to eat this. Okay. And Katelyn's going to finish up chopping our apples, and when we get done chopping up our apples, we're going to come back and we are going to finish making the rest of our berry salsa recipe.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agree, the scammers are out of control.
And we need to show them how to use a password manager. Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Great cake. I'll use MFA to verify my purchase. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure our world.
Thank you for tuning back into Family Lifestyles. My name is Nan Montgomery. I'm the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences here in Allen County. And I have a special guest with me today. This is Katelyn Squires, and she is the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences in Greene County. And we are making a berry salsa. And so Katelyn has just finished up chopping up our apples. I believe it was 4 apples that are in here. And we're going to kind of show you the rest of the way to make this delicious summer treat.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next thing we'll move on to is our blueberries.
Okay.
So we're going to add a cup of blueberries.
Alrighty.
You're not going to need to dice those or anything. You can just add those whole.
Once again, my favorite recipe.
Yes.
I like dump and pour. And those blueberries they look so good.
Yes.
This also makes me in the spirit for kind of like 4th of July. We got our red, white, and blue going on. Red, white, blue, and delicious.
That should be its new name.
Yes, that's what we should name it, right?
Absolutely.
Ooh, now it looks like you have another favorite. So those are blackberries, correct?
Yes,
okay.
correct.
How much blackberries do we use for this recipe?
We are going to do a cup as well, but we are going to half these blackberries.
I kind of like that because I feel like that helps with I don't know, the seeds or something.
Yeah. And especially if you're making, I have a little one at home. I have a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And so a bunch of his fruit and stuff, he can eat it just fine, but it's nice to cut it up so that there's no choking hazard involved.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This would be a good recipe for kids. Also,
Yes.
when we get to the end, it's sweet. And so it's kind of a way, maybe if you have a choosy eater at home, maybe to sneak in fruit, which I know most of the time, most kids like fruit.
Yes, we go through fruit like crazy in our house.
But this is an extra way to maybe if you're having trouble at home, whether it's grandkids or kids or even maybe an adult, to get them to try to get
That's true.
fruit in their diet. And fruit's already sweet, but this is going to kind of elevate it, that this is definitely a sweet treat once we get our sauce for our very berry salsa completed in a minute, and it's really delicious too. A fun fact, I just learned that blackberries were like a Kentucky state fruit, which I didn't realize that we had that.
I did not.
Until I was reading about things, and I was like, I know we have like a state bird and we have the state flower and different things of that, but I didn't know that we had a state fruit. So I was like, I don't know. That's kind of just a fun fact since we're using blackberries, but it makes sense that it would be because blackberries grow really well in Kentucky.
They do,
and they're very prevalent. Did you ever have anybody in your family that grew blackberries growing up or anything like that, or go to a U-pick place?
I have not, but from moving to Greene County, we have a bunch of wild blackberries just around in our farm and our field.
Okay.
So we've seen those around quite often.
Yes, my grandparents, they had a big garden, and something they had was blackberries. Actually, we had blackberries coming out we just had never-ending blackberries. They froze them and made jam and blackberry cobbler and all kinds of good things. So I don't know. There's just something different than you getting a blackberry. Whether it be you pick or the farmer than the grocery store. That's all I have to say is there is a different taste. They're sweeter, and sometimes in the grocery store, you get a little bit of sour.
Yeah.
So speaking of picking out our produce, so you've measured our blackberries. You said that was about a cup.
Yes.
You chopped those up, or half them. How would we pick out blackberries, apples, blueberries, strawberries, what do we look for in the grocery store or the farmer's market if we're shopping to make sure we get a good quality product?
You just want to look a lot for color.
Okay.
You want to make sure that there's no bruising on the apples, for example. Blackberries, they need that rich blue color.
Yes.
So you want to make sure those are good. Blueberries you can kind of see, and if you touch them, they can be kind of squishy if they're bad. Same thing for raspberries as well. They're kind of similar to the blackberries in that example. And then kind of the same for strawberries. You just want to look for that color, make sure there's not any bad browning or spots on them. And if there is, you can always chop it off and it'll still be good.
Oh, yes, I have to do that.
Yes.
So now we are doing raspberries. How much raspberries do we need for our salsa?
We are doing a cup, and we're going to half those as well.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. If you don't like raspberry, can you leave raspberries out? What if we double something because we don't like raspberries? Is that okay?
Yes, I say so. This is your recipe. You're going to make it at home. If you don't like blackberries, maybe put more blueberries or substitute it for something else that you like.
That is the only thing that my family would leave out is we're not very big raspberry. Yes, we would definitely probably double up, or we did. Let me say this: we do make this at home, so we omit raspberries, and we will definitely double up on another fruit. We typically double up on our strawberries or our blueberries. So my family they like blackberries, but as far as the fruit that we have today, it's blackberries are not their top, so they like more apples, blueberries, or strawberries in here. So you are finishing up that, and so we talked about a little bit of buying. Now, does your county have a farmers market where people can shop?
We do. We have a farmers market at the Cattlemen's Pavilion in Greensburg, and it is on Thursdays from 3 to 5:30. Central Time.
Okay. Yes. No, that's really great. In Allen County, too, if you are coming to the farmers market, the Allen County Scottsville Farmers Market is open from 8 to noon, and it's actually at the side of the Allen County Extension Office. We have a really nice gravel lot. and they set up their tents and they
That's
sell.
nice.
And then also some farmers markets have this option, not all of them, but specifically if you're in Allen County, we have the Double Dollars program. So the seniors, if you have that, we have your cards loaded and you can go and you can buy the produce. So if you're looking to make this recipe, you can shop at the Allen County Market. Of course, if you are in Greene County, you go shop at
Yes.
what'd you say, the Greens?
The Cattleman's Pavilion.
The Cattleman's Pavilion. You go shop at their farmers market, and they're, like I said, I don't know all farmers markets, but a lot of them have Double Dollars or senior or
Yes.
different ways that you can stretch your food dollars. And if you don't have those type of benefits, it's still a really great way to give back to your local farmer and shop.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now one of my favorite fruits, strawberries. It looks like we're going to incorporate that. So how much strawberries and what do we need to do to our strawberries for this?
So we're going to use 1 cup of strawberries as well, but we are going to dice these instead of half them.
Okay, so we're going to do smaller pieces, and you said
Yes.
one cup of strawberries. So
1
let me
cup.
see if I can remember this. So we started out, we did 4 apples chopped. We did a cup of blueberries, I believe.
Yes.
A cup of blackberries, and we halved those, I think.
Correct.
A cup of raspberries, and we halved those, and then we're doing a cup of strawberries that is chopped, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're getting a lot of fruit into our diet. So can you tell me a little bit, about fruit? Why is it important that we eat fruit? Maybe if what are some different ways that we can get that into our diet if we are not a big fruit eater?
Yeah, there's so many ways you can get this. You can be creative with it. You can bake with a bunch of fruit. You can make them into drinks and smoothies and all that kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely.
And then fruits have great antioxidants, and they are very healthy for you. And depending on which kind of fruit it is, it can help with different parts of your body.
You're absolutely right. Actually, berries are really good. So maybe if you are a diabetic, berries have a little bit lower sugar content than your other types of fruits. So that's a good option that if you have some dietary restrictions, especially diabetic, to go with a berry. And that's just kind of a good way if you need to reduce your sugar.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about antioxidants. Yes, our berry group, or berries, they do have a lot of antioxidants. They have what we call, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this word, but we're going to go ahead and try to say it anyways. I believe it's called phytochemicals. And those are like, they come from the fruit and vegetables, and they help kind of fight cancer. So the more fruits and vegetables you can eat, I'm not saying that you are not going to get cancer because, I can't predict the future or anything like that. But when you eat fruits and vegetables, they have those phytochemicals, and that can help reduce your chances of potentially getting cancer because that's part of a healthy diet. So when you eat fruits and vegetables, that's really great. When you're exercising, those are all things that can help reduce your chances of getting cancer. So Katelyn is finishing up chopping the strawberries. When she gets done, or she's going to finish that, and we will come back after a break, and we will end up finishing the rest of our salsa recipe.
Adjust your rearview mirror. Always pay attention when you're pulling out.
As parents, we make daily decisions to keep our children safe. But it's easy to forget that sexual abuse could happen to any child, at any place, by anyone.
All right, guys, have fun at practice.
We'll pick you up later.
It's our responsibility to prevent child sexual abuse. To learn more, visit www.pcaky.org. Or to make a report of child abuse, call 1-877-KY-SAFE-1.
Thank you for tuning into Family Lifestyles. My name is Nan Montgomery. I'm the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences in Allen County, and this is Katelyn Squires, and she's the Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences in Greene County. And so we're finishing making a very delicious berry salsa. So we got all of our fruit chopped up. Katelyn, what else do we need to complete our salsa?
So all we have left to do is add our sugar and our preserves.
Okay, so how much sugar and preserves are we going to add to this?
We are going to add half a tablespoon of some sugar.
Okay. I told you all earlier in the segment that this is a really sweet treat, a sweet salsa. So now we're explaining why it's going to be sweet, because we get to add some sugar. And then, of course, your preserves are already sweet and have those sugars when you have canned them.
Yes.
About how much preserves are we going to add?
We're going to add about a tablespoon of the preserves, and we added about half of a tablespoon of the sugar.
Alrighty. So you're going to add this in here. Now, what do we do next to complete our recipe?
We are going to mix it all together, and then you toss it in the fridge, and then you can serve it.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know, because I'd want to eat it right away. So we need to let this chill in the fridge for a little bit before you serve. Now, Katelyn, obviously you can just plate it up and eat it, but is there any other things that we could serve this with?
Absolutely. You can be creative and you can make your own. You can go with cinnamon tortilla chips.
Okay.
You can use some regular tortillas, cut those into fours.
Yes.
Add some cooking spray or some oil, toss them in some cinnamon, throw them in the oven, and then you're good to go. If you want to go even more simple, you can just use some graham crackers that you buy at the store. Just chop those up into those little 4 pieces, and you're ready to go.
This is going to be a really fun snack for kids, because I don't know. Well, I guess I shouldn't speak for all households, but we have green crackers in our house, because I have I have a 9-year-old. I don't guess she's that young. But that's kind of just a snack that we have that everyone in my family likes. And so that would be something easy for me to pull out of the pantry and then pair.
Absolutely. It's an extra little treat to go with it.
Yes, definitely, and get her to eat her her fruit. So do you have any ways, let me ask you this. If somebody wants the recipe, where can they find this, or can they get this recipe?
You can go to your local extension offices. You can go and ask them. Our extension office, I think yours as well, we have recipes up front with like little cards, and then it kind of goes with your demo on how to do it and the nutritional facts and all of that information. Or if you don't see it, you can just go up and ask them, say, hey, I saw this on TV, where's the recipe?
Right. I love how you talked about our nutrition cards, because that's something that I feel like a lot of individuals don't realize that we have in the community. So if you are passing by your extension office, probably every extension office I've been in, and I've been in a lot throughout the state of Kentucky, they have these cards that you're talking about, and they're just little recipe cards. And once again, they highlight a different Kentucky produce, which is awesome, because we want to give back to our our community and try to shop local. And so they have what you said, that the nutrition facts, how to store it, how to wash the produce, how to select it, kind of some interaction like with the farmer. So if you're shopping a farmer's market and maybe you have questions, you're nervous like with interacting, you can kind of read about it so that you can ask that farmer or producer about what product they're selling. And then, of course, it has the recipe guide with a way to make a recipe. And something that I find is the recipes are typically unique. So, I feel like I've made different types of fruit salads and stuff, but I don't know that I've actually incorporated preserves or that I would have necessarily thought of this recipe on my own, or to mix these ingredients.
Exactly.
And so when you come to the extension office, I feel like we give you different ways to utilize different things that are that you have available in your pantry, and just a spin. It also changes flavor profiles. With what you may have. So maybe if there's a product that you grow, I don't know, like tomatoes or something, you might just be tired of the same old recipes with tomatoes. Well, we have a lot of tomato recipes and different ways that you can utilize tomatoes in your diet. And I don't know, that's just a prime example. I think we have like over 20 different tomato recipes. And once again, I said they're unique. So they're probably not a recipe or pairings that you have tried, because they're just, some of them are unique, yes, which is a wonderful thing that we have at the Extension Service. Katelyn, for the viewers in your area and surrounding counties, what are some summer or fall programs that you have upcoming, in Greene County?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every month we do Cooking from the Calendar. There is a SNAP calendar that is given out to Extension offices with different recipes monthly. We demo those, they get to taste them, and then they can take them home and do them themselves. It is canning season, so we have a bunch of canning classes coming up, a canning camp in July. That's a 3-day camp. We have teen cooking programs going on. Yeah, we have a lot of
Awesome.
things at the Extension office, ranging not just from the FCS office, but in combination with 4-H and Ag, which is great.
Well, I know canning classes are very popular, so I would say if you want to get in on the canning class, if you're hearing this and you're a viewer, call the Greene
Yes.
County Extension office and get signed up for that. I know I can speak for canning classes in Allen County. Whenever I offer them, I feel like as soon as they are advertised on radio or Facebook,
They're full.
yes,
Absolutely.
they are full.
They go quick.
And it's also a time for you to, whether you've canned a really long time or you're a beginner, I feel like we have a great way to teach anyone in all stages of canning.
Absolutely. And even if it's things you've never canned before, you may see new techniques and ways that you haven't done it before.
Right. I feel like that's one thing we try to do is give, different recipes that people, we do traditional recipes like maybe like green beans or salsa or stuff.
Absolutely.
But then also, I can't remember actually what I saw at another extension office relative, but it was like it was a corn and something else. And I don't remember exactly what it was.
We've done pie fillings before. We've done pasta sauces and soups, everything you can think of.
And I love that because that helps people, be able to expand on their pantry staples
Yes.
and add on their canning experience. Or maybe they didn't know that you could can a certain type of product and teach them how to do it safely. Also, something else we like to add is you don't have to live in that county to, attend an extension program. So maybe the county that you live in doesn't have a canning class. You can travel to, your neighboring county or really however far you would like to drive. So our classes are open to anyone, and we even have people that cross state lines. So I know in Allen County we're close to Tennessee, so we have people that come up from, Tennessee, and then some of our more northern counties, you have people that come in from West Virginia and, Ohio, just all kinds of different things. So you don't have to necessarily be a Kentucky resident to be able to participate. And so that's something I like to share. But we thank you for tuning into Family Lifestyles, and we'll see you next month. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your local extension office, and we'd be happy to help you out and get you any resources.